Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm KingNido and today we're coming to you from Lavaridge City where it is a matchup between two sides currently residing in the Elite Four as the Flare are hosting the Viridian Magma, and the Lavaridge Flare have never actually ended a season inside the Elite Four. They always start strong but they need to continue that here today, whereas the Magma, they had a terrible season last time around but they are redeeming themselves here. So with that said, let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win this matchup. Will it be the fire types? Will it be the ground types? Let's go!
3, 2, 1, go!
And it is going to be that Terrestrial draftee Dashbun joining up with Talonflame up against Clodseye and Donphan from the Viridian Magma. But both these sides, if they win, they could actually move themselves on top of the leaderboard. That is the stakes that are riding on this game, as Talonflame with that speed control immediately goes with the Psy Strike. This will be super effective onto Clodseye, getting some massive damage on the part Poison type. Dashbun follows it up with the Headbutt, going for Donphan. Not quite as effective though, who responds with the Blaze Kick, and that is not very effective at all onto Dashbun. Clodseye, however, does follow it up with the Power Split, focusing in onto Talonflame here, sharing its power between the two. However, the Flying Fire type is going to respond with the Bitter Malice. It wants Clodseye off the field. Unfortunately, that didn't do that much damage, but it does lower the physical attack of the Poison Ground type, and it is going to be the Drill Peck follow-up from Dashbun, continuing to go for Donphan, who does respond with the Magic Room, not going on the offensive. Instead, it is going to make it so that everybody's held Leopard Berry does lose their effects. Clodseye with the workup in the follow-up from Donphan. It is going to reboost that physical attack, but it's also going to boost that special attack in the process. And we get the rising voltage though from Talonflame that is not going to work on the ground types. Dashbun looking to do its part though, goes for the Icicle Crash, but that super effective move is avoided by Clodseye, allowing the Temper Flare from Donphan onto Dashbun, continuing with those not very effective moves, but Clodseye follows it up with the Leech Seed here onto Dashbun. That is going to sap the health of the Terrestrial draftee and in the process restore that health of Clodseye, as we see happening now on the field. And Clodseye has already taken a great deal of damage, trying to slow down the play, as Talonflame with the Mega Drain super effective there onto Donphan. And it is Dashbun following up with the Blood Moon to try and take Clodseye off the field, but the Leech Seed has actually given it enough strength to stay in the matchup. Donphan responding with the Lunar Blessing, fortunately not going for the Lunar Dance. It is going to restore its own health, but also restoring that health of Clodseye, who was in knockout range. Clodseye with the follow-up is going for the Taunt, but that Aroma Veil from Dashbun prevents it from affecting Talonflame. But what is not going to be prevented is that Leech Seed continuing to sap the health of Dashbun and restore the health of Clodseye. Talonflame, however, is going for the Metal Claw, getting in some good chip damage onto Donphan, and Dashbun once again with the reversal this time. Very little damage there being done to Clodseye with that not very effective move, allowing Donphan to go with the Minimize. It is going to greatly boost its evasiveness, making it a much harder target for the Flare, as Clodseye tries for the Dream Eater and it wants to eat those dreams, those champion dreams of the Flare, but unfortunately that does not work. But what is still working is that health, restoring the health of Clodseye that does sap from Dashbun. Talonflame with the Tail Glow though, now not going on the offensive. Instead, it is going to boost its own special attack a great deal, as Dashbun goes for the Seed Flare, putting Clodseye back into knockout range. Donphan, however, does respond with the Acid, connecting with both fire types for very little damage, but good chip damage regardless, as Clodseye with the Baton Pass, it has had enough. It is going back to the bench. And whilst it takes a break, it is Golurk coming out in its place, who is going to feel the effects of that Leech Seed that now puts Dashbun into knockout range. The Magic Room does wear off, and Talonflame is going to go with the Acupressure, trying to help out Dashbun here by boosting its special defense a great deal. Dashbun, as they still have that full speed control, goes for the Uproar, putting Donphan into knockout range. As it starts to cause this uproar, Golurk is going to respond with the Energy Ball, shooting that out at Talonflame. Not very effective, however, as Donphan is going to follow it up with a bulk up here of its own. It is going to boost its own physical attack, that's base 120, as well as that 120 base physical defense. And there is that Leech Seed still sapping that health. Golurk is at full strength, but it is no longer going to be happening because it has finally taken down Dash Bun out of this match, getting that first elimination finally for the Viridian Magma in this match. It is going to be Makago coming out for the Lavaridge Flare as Talonflame goes for the Grassy Glide, and Donphan hangs on by a thread, allowing Golurk to respond with the Bubble Beam onto Makago, and it shuts it out of this match. It is a one-hit wonder. Makago has been eliminated. Donphan follows up with the Fire Fang, not very effective, but still gets in some great damage onto Talonflame as the Flare now send out Ninetales. With that Drought ability, the Sunlight is going to turn harsh, but the Flare need to turn this around as a Thunderbolt is not going to work once again from Talonflame, this time onto Golurk. Ninetales looking to do its part, tries for the Eerie spell onto Golurk, gets in some good damage there, and it's also going to cut into that PP by 3 as they look to make it struggle. Golurk responding though with the Poison Fang, great damage onto Talonflame, and it is left with that poison status condition. It is badly poisoned. It will get progressively worse, but it is the floral healing from Donphan helping out Talonflame. It is going to restore its health quite a great deal, as well as that poisoning starts to take effect on the Fire Flying type. That may be a crucial error there by the Magma, as the taunt from Talonflame is not going to work on Donphan. However, Ninetales is going to go for the Bullet Seed. This multi-hit move will finish it off. Finally, the Lavaridge Flare have got one on the board, but before that can take place as well, before Clodsite comes back out, Golurk will have an opportunity to respond, and it does go for the Victory Dance. It is feeling that confident with the Magma currently in the lead. It boosts that 124 base physical attack as well as that defense and that speed. And there is that poisoning getting worse for Talonflame down there on the field, and it is Clodsire returning to this match. It is a very easy target. Talonflame could level the playing field, goes for the Disarming Voice, connecting with both ground types, but it's not very effective there onto Clodsire. This allows Golurk to respond with the Explosion. And why is everybody taking themselves out of this matchup? But it takes out its teammate Clodsire. However, it is successful in taking out both Ninetales and Talonflame. We will have a field reset, but the Magma will come in with the 3-2 advantage. The last two Pokemon for the Flare are about to come out. That first being Camerupt, and it is going to be joined by Torkoal. Coming out for the Magma, it is going to be their own Terrestrial Drafty Furret, who is joined alongside by Mudsdale with that crucial stamina ability, and it's already got a base 100 defense plus that 125 base attack. But we do have Camerupt here coming in with its own impressive offensive stats, both 100 and 105 in attack and special attack respectively. But it is Furret with the speed control, immediately going for the Bitter Blade, getting in some good damage for a not very effective move there onto Camerupt. Mudsdale responding with the Lunar Blessing. Once again, fortunately not going for the Lunar Dance, but they are at full strength on the side of the Magma at the moment, so it does fail. The Recycle from Camerupt is also going to fail, as Torkoal, looking to do its part, goes with the Ember, and with that Harsh Sunlight gets in some great damage, but it activates the stamina ability of Mudsdale. Furret responding by cutting into its own health so it can set up that substitute on the field that will be taking the damage for it in the meantime, as Mudsdale with the Charm onto Camerupt. This is going to lower that physical attack a great deal, but Camerupt is going to respond with the Memento, which is going to fail. Fortunately for the Flare, their bench has been emptied, as Torkoal setting up the Doom Desire, choosing Doom as the destiny for Mudsdale, and we still don't know who that remaining Pokemon for the Magma is, as that Harsh Sunlight is going to fade. Furret is going to go for the Lunge, getting in some good chip damage once again, not very effective though, on to Camerupt. But again, they do lower its physical attack, and we do have Mudsdale following it up with the X-Scissor. More not very effective damage, but they are doing great to chip away at Camerupt here, who is going to chow down on its Citrus Berry, restoring its health. And it is going to respond by setting up the Burning Bulwark, but it's a little too late to be protecting itself on this turn. So once again, Torkoal needs to do its part, and it is going to go for the roleplay, intelligently taking that stamina ability that Mudsdale has. It does rid itself of the Shell Armor to get that stamina, hoping to boost its own defenses here, as we are going to get a Growl from Furret. Once again, they are going to lower that physical attack of Camerupt, also lowering the physical attack of Torkoal in the process, but they're trying to make it so Camerupt cannot do much damage. It is on the receiving end though of a critical Frost Breath, and with that it is going to activate that Anger Point ability of Camerupt, maximizing that attack after being lowered so many times. It responds with the growth. It tries to boost that physical attack even more, but it won't go any higher. However, it does successfully boost that special attack, and Torkoal following it up with the Venoshock. It is trying to get that substitute doll off the field as it does take the damage for it, and that Doom Desire does come and land a hit onto Mudsdale, once again activating that stamina ability to boost that defense. We get the corrosive gas now from Furret. This is not going to work on Camerupt, who already ate its citrus berry, but it is going to burn up the Lancet Berry of Mudsdale and the Lancet Berry of Torkoal, as Mudsdale is going to follow up here with the Play Rough. They want to get that maximized attack Camerupt off the field, putting it into knockout range. It does respond by trying for the Aurora Veil, but it is not snowing in Lavaridge right now, so that is going to fail, as Torkoal is going to go with the triple axle. They are still trying to take down this substitute doll, and with that first axle, the single axle, it does take down the substitute doll, but the triple axle will still continue. It gets the double, it gets the triple, and with that third one, it does put Furret into knockout range, but Furret is going to proceed to chow down on its own berry here, restoring its health because it too was holding onto a citrus berry. After taking those 3 connections, it is going to respond with the Vice Grip onto Torkoal. Not much damage being done, but it activates that stamina ability, boosting the defense of Torkoal. Mudsdale with the follow-up goes for the Floral Healing. Once again, the Magma have made this Floral Healing mistake, restoring the health of an easy target. Camerupt, who does respond with the Earthquake with that maximized attack, and it takes everybody off the field, including its own teammate. Torkoal has been eliminated, Furret's eliminated, Mudsdale is eliminated. We are down to a 1v1 matchup, a maximized attack Camerupt, who's just had its health restored. And it looks ready to go, bouncing back and forth on the field, and now against it will be Whiscash, who immediately does go for the Fire Fang here, getting in some good chip damage for a not very effective move once again, but Camerupt just needs to go on the offensive. It goes for the Flail, gets in huge damage onto Whiscash, who is going to respond with the Ice Punch. Fantastic damage in response, but Camerupt is going to go for the Synthesis, very intelligently once again restoring its health as it was becoming an easier target here, but it just needs to go on the offensive. We get a time warning, but Whiscash is going to respond with the Psychic, continuing on the offensive. More great damage there onto Camerupt, who does respond with the Smog. Very little damage there being done to Whiscash, who avoids the poisoning and does respond with the Dragon Dance. It is going to boost its own physical attack. It is going to boost its speed, but it does have speed control at the moment over Camerupt, who is going to respond with the Shovel Smash. It is trying to boost those offensive stats even further. It will cut into its defensive stats to do so, but it also is going to get a speed boost for itself. So fortunately for Whiscash, it has already boosted its own speed, so it may be able to maintain that speed control here between these two. Another time warning, but Whiscash is setting up for the Solar Blade. It is going to absorb the light on this turn. Camerupt needs to go for something, anything. It goes for the Court Change, but there's no entry hazards. That is going to fail. This allows Whiscash to finish off that Solar Blade that is going to come down hard onto this part Fire type, and it takes Camerupt out of this matchup. Even with the Floral Healing mistakes, the Viridian Magma are able to hang on and continue their win streak that they actually have over the Lavaridge Flare. They have a 3-0 record, and this does move them to the top of the leaderboard, as next round they are going up against the Eternal Devons. Whereas for the Flare, they do stay in 4th for the time being, but next round they are going up against the Pewter Skulls. But until then, Nidorinas, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I will see you when you see me.